Welcome back, my legends, and today we're going to do a fun video. We're going to talk about how the Apex games work. Now, the writers have said that they're not going to go too detailed how the Apex games work because it's not really important to them. The most important thing is to make the characters likable, to make their story. So me as a content creator, we're just going to speculate how the Apex games work because we kind of have an idea how it works. So let's jump into it. So the first thing I want to discuss is how many people compete in the Apex games. So if we're gonna go lore wise, we know that it's more than 50 people because in Crypto's, when he's seen the prediction algorithm, we can clearly see there's more than 50 people on the screen. So this tells me is that gameplay wise, we know the max you can have is 60 people, but lore wise it could be more than that. So we don't really know, but just to be safe, we're going to say that there's 60 people that are competing in the arena. So how do you become an Apex legend? Well, you become an Apex legend by winning one game. Once you win one game, you're considered an Apex legend. If you don't win a game, then I'm guessing you're just a competitor. So the next question will be, how in the world do you join the games? Well, as we know from Crypto says that you have to do some kind of qualifiers. So you have to qualify to join the games. Now, I don't think it was like that before. I think before, when we see the Apex games being built, I think if you just ask to join the games, they'll just say like, sure, you can be in the games, because remember, nobody back then was crazy enough to join a blood sport. So back then it's probably whoever first come first serve. But now that the Apex games have become popular, we see that it's now something people want to do. People are rushing in to join the games. Now that they have more people interested in the games, they can't just let anybody join them. Maybe back then yes, but now no. Nobody is going to want to see a scrub not know what they're doing. So they're gonna have qualifiers where they're like, okay, who here can we put in the games that is gonna make our ratings go higher? Because that's what it's all about. The Apex games, and this is why I think Cuban Bliss was so mad at the Syndicate. This has turned into a money profiting sport. It's no longer the best of the best competing. It's about who can bring the most people to watch the games. Now, there are some exceptions. Now, Watson was kind of invited by the legends to join the games because all the legends liked her. They knew Watson. So she was an exception. She was able to join the games directly. She didn't have to qualify. The legends all said, oh yeah, don't worry, we'll take care of her indirectly. So if you get recommended by a lot of legends, you just apparently join. The Syndicate's like, okay, sure. Octane was also another exception. Now, Octane broke the record for the gauntlet, and apparently people have been telling me is that because of that, his popularity probably soared to new highs. So it makes sense why the Syndicate and Hammond Robotics were going to want somebody like Octane. Octane is kind of like a YouTuber or an influencer. He has a lot of people watching him and following him. So it makes sense why the Syndicate and Hammond Robotic was just be like, yeah, sure, you can be in the games. So he joined the games. So here's the thing, if you're not lucky enough to be a very popular person and you just have, gun skills and fighting skills, you have to join the qualifiers. But as we know from Crypto, it's really difficult because everybody wants to join the Apex games. Now, the funny thing about the Apex games is that Tom Casillo confirmed that they don't really get paid a lot of money. At first I thought they did because Mirage owns like this huge boat, but apparently that's not true. They get paid above average. So if you become a competitor in the Apex games, you're not gonna get like $1 million contracts. That's not how it works. You're just gonna get paid above average, which some of you are going to be thinking, what's the point of then competing if you're not gonna get like a really good big contract? Now listen, there's not going to be a lot of 9-to-5 jobs out there. So the fact that you can get paid a little bit more, and also if you're in the Apex games, you get your own headquarters. I'm not sure if this is only for the big time legends or everybody, but point is you get some perks being a legend. You get paid more. You might get to live in the dropship for a while. Point is, it's better than being a regular person living not knowing if you're going to starve or not. So, and trust me, I'm pretty sure the Syndicate do have the money to pay them, but knowing the Syndicate, they're not going to. So until they make a union, I don't know what they're going to do. So now let's talk about qualifiers, because a lot of people are going to think, okay, so if I just qualify like top 3, eventually I get put in the games the next season. Kind of, and no, because we do know is that the Syndicate don't really care about qualifiers. We know this because when Forge died, this other person named Newcastle was next on the line, but because the Syndicate needed a way way to control Revenant, they decided to put Revenant in the games. And it was probably the best thing because they were trying to replace Caustic as like this psycho killer who goes out and hunts people. So Revenant was a perfect substitute for Caustic because he was kind of becoming soft, in their words. So in season 5, the new prospect that was supposed to come out is Newcastle. But again, he was replaced by Lova because Lova had a high following. So again, it goes to show you that qualifiers don't really matter at all. What matters is, can people want to watch the games because of you? That's what the Syndicate cares. Now, if they can't find nobody that's really popular that people will want to watch the games, then they'll just get the next qualifier. But why do you want to be the highest qualifier possible? Because the way I see it, they put the legends with other legends only. And here's why. Because it makes no sense to put like Lifeline with a group of scrubs or rookies because clearly she's not going to win. So legends or high qualifying prospects get put together and everybody else gets put in a random team or the team of their choosing. Now some people are going to say that doesn't sound fair, the legends get put with other legends or high prospects get put with legends. But here's the thing, people watch the games because of the legends. I mean, yeah, it's also interesting to watch a blood sport, I guess, but just like how Respawn has made people attached to certain, characters, that's why they're called mains, the people in the Frontier, the Core, and the Outlands have their favorite legends they want to watch. Now, the reason why this is important is because the Syndicate understand that, and they want each legend to have a chance to, win a game. So it makes sense that they're not going to put them with scrubs or people who are barely new, because then they're not going to win. And the legends are their bread and butter. That's what makes them their money. People want to watch the legends because they have a connection with them. So let's say you're not good enough to be a high prospect and you're like top 10. The way I see it is that they say, hey, look, you're not going to be with the legends or one of the high prospects, but we'll put you in the game still because you do have the skills. But you're going to either have to form a team or we'll put you in a random team of your choice. And you have to consider the pros and cons if this is how it's going to be. Now, the pros is that you're going to be with the main group of people that are in the games. But the cons is that you're going to be put with the new people or the people who are good enough but not good enough to be like high prospects. So if you keep competing in the qualifiers and eventually you're like the next person that they're going to introduce to the games, you get some benefits. One of the benefits is you get to play with the legends, so your odds of eventually winning a game go higher. You also get preferential treatment. So we know this. We know that the Octane has said that, hey, go back to the respawn chamber so that way you can respawn. So if you get like, knocked out, you get put in this respawn chamber so that way you can heal your wounds. Now, I think it's not for everybody. I think that's only for like the legends or like the high prospects. So that way, because if you're a nobody, right, why would the Syndicate bother healing you? There's no point. So that's one of the benefits of being a high prospect or an Apex legend. Or you can take your chances and squad up with a rookie team. Now, we have to keep in mind is that the way I see is that if you competed in the games and survive or get knocked out, right, then you're still going to get your money and they're probably going to invite you another time just to join the games directly. You have all the legends, the ones that we know and the ones that we don't know. Then we have the people that are invited back. So in this case, this will be you. The people who are good but not good enough to be like a high prospect or to play with the legends, and you get an invite back saying, hey, you want to keep playing, we'll pay you, but we don't expect much out of you. So by some miracle, let's say you do get a random squad and you do go really far, or you actually become champions, then you get put in a new class. You get put as high ranking prospects or an Apex legend, and you start getting those special perks. So that's the way I see it. So even though you might not be a high prospect, you still have the chance that you might become one day, and then you start getting those preferential treatment. That's how I see it. To me, this is how it should work. It makes sense to me. Like, first is the Apex legend. Second is the new person that they're introducing for the new season. Basically the next Apex legend that they're projecting. Then they re-invite all the people who have qualified qualified in the past and want to compete again. So these will be like the mid-tier qualifiers. And then we have the low-tier qualifiers, the people who are not that good, but you know, they're crazy enough to join the games, or people that were like in the top 20 qualifying. So rookies, basically rookies and people who don't know what they're doing. So that's how I think the Apex games work. Let me know what you think, my legends. Also, there's no duplicate legends. There's no like 5 Pathfinders, 6 Lifelines, 3 Raves. No, it's just one of each, and then like the random characters that we don't know because Respawn doesn't think they're that important to introduce. Unless they make a movie or a show, then maybe they'll try to like, you know, show different characters. But as of now, that's how I think it works, and I'll see you all next time.
I'll keep on repenting for that night so long